If you were lucky enough to experience Jin's concert in Seoul, either in person or via live stream, you'll know this wasn't just a concert, it was a transformation. From the very first moment Jin stepped into the ramp and said challenge accepted, it was clear. This wasn't business as usual, it was a declaration, a signal that something about the concert world was about to shift. And many people, especially the media, still don't fully grasp what he was doing. Creating a tactile memory. Jin was creating something no other artist has done before, creating a tactile memory, a core memory. Digital generations are bombarded with content, but physical experiences stand out. When he gave away raincoats and asked the audience to wear a comfortable pair of shoes, it sounded simple, but it becomes a symbol of the moment. The anticipation of what was going to happen, the thrill of being in a crowd that's part of the show, the surprise of receiving something tangible from the artist, and experience what that raincoat was actually for. This taps into multi-sensory memory. Fans will associate the music not just with the sound, but with touch, movement, and shared emotion. That's what deepens long term attachment. Enhancing understanding of the music. When fans physically prepare for the performance, wear the right shoes, embrace the rain, expect activities, they're primed to engage more deeply. Instead of standing still and waiting to be entertained, they arrive knowing this concert asks something from me. I have to show up ready. This readiness translates to mental presence. They're more focused, more curious about what each moment means, and more likely to interpret the song as part of a shared narrative, not just a playlist. The songs become a tangible part of a memory, not just a background. It actually becomes a utility to push the narrative forward instead of just an enhancement. In other words, the context enhances the content. Creative control. Jin made one thing very, very clear. This concert was his vision. He said it before, during, and after the show. Everything was under his control, from set list decisions to performance styles. He said several times that right after his military discharge, Big Hit asked if he wanted to go on tour, and he said no. Later, he changed his mind and said yes, which meant the entire production had to be rushed. This explains the choice of venue. Some solo fans criticized the location, claiming it was subpar, but Jin clarified the concert was his last minute decision, and venue options were limited. Just because a space next door looked available doesn't mean it was. Usually, setup and breakdown take days. They are called ingress and egress, and they are factored into every event. And it's possible the other venue was booked or prepping for the next event or cleaning up after the other event. What matters is that he asked Big Hit to make it happen, and they did because it's his show and it is his call. And it is this authenticity that's going to be needed and craved for by the future generations, the generation that will be the main consumers of art. He overruled the director. Even the concert director had different ideas. The director wanted Jin to start the show with a bang. Upbeat songs, lights, the works. Jin refused. He wanted to walk out in silence, dramatically lit, and say challenge accepted. It didn't fully work. He actually forgot that it stays bright longer in the summer, but the point is, he held his ground. Jin is no pushover. He's an artist in command, and it is very important that right from the very beginning of the show, he wanted to be very clear of the statement he was presenting. This entire concert was a challenge, and it was a challenge not just for him, but also the audience. And it was a vision that only he got fully from the beginning. Concert as an interactive art form. This is where it gets exciting and visionary. Jin isn't just performing, he's inviting you to be a part of the art. I recently interviewed a Gen Z communications and psychology expert, and her insights blew me away. Gen Z doesn't separate digital and real life. Online friendships are real friendships. Online relationships are real relationships. They live their lives across screens. And yet, they crave authenticity and physical interaction. AI can now mimic songs, art, writing. So, Gen Z does not necessarily consider products of AI to be art. But the one thing they know will separate real art from what AI produces is the intent. They want to know who created it and why. That's why it is very important for the creator or the artist to communicate with the audience. Out that bridge, you are no different from an AI. To them, participation equals authenticity. They don't want to just watch something, they want to be in it. That's what Jin is offering, a shared space where artists and the audience co create the experience. This is the future of concerts. Third spaces and the evolution of gathering. Ever heard of third spaces? Gen Z coined it. It's not home, it's not work, it's a neutral place to just exist, hang out, or meet people. To older generations, that sounds like coffee shop or galleries or the park. But for Gen Zers and Gen Alpha, it is a neutral place with intention. In these third spaces, they actually expect to either experience something or meet someone. That's why when Jin live streamed his concert, he was not ruining the surprise. He was actually building the invitation. For Gen Zers and Gen Alpha, seeing it online doesn't spoil it. It makes them more likely to want to experience it live. Why AI makes human performance more valuable. Here's a twist. Gen Zers and Gen Alphas aren't afraid of AI. They grew up with it. But because of that, they're better at spotting what's fake. So the more AI generated content floods their feeds, the more they value raw, real human experience. Lip syncs? Out. Autotune? No. Live vocals? That's the minimum expectation. So in the future, when they are all grown up and they are the ones that are actually going to different musical events and festivals and concerts, they will expect singers to actually sing live and actually perform, not just strike a pose or endlessly walk the stage swaggering. Not surprisingly, Jin delivers every note, every moment. Conversations and banters. Remember when Jin teased the audience mid song for not doing the rap part? That wasn't just a joke, it was a signal. You can't just sit back anymore. You're in it now. As lighthearted as it may be, artists are expected to banter, to create fun moments outside of the performances, but within the same event and space. Gen Z and Gen Alpha don't want to be passive observers. They want to be seen, recognized, and communicated to. If they are going to get off their phones and show up, the experience better be interactive, emotional, memorable, and fun. For Gen Z and Gen Alpha, passive entertainment feels outdated. They've grown up in interactive digital environments, gaming, TikTok, live streams, where they don't just consume content, they shape it. They expect interaction. By including the audience in the environment of the concert, Jin transforms attendees from mere spectators into active participants. They're inside the show, not just watching it. This strengthens their emotional attachment to the experience and to Jin himself, of course, because they aren't just watching him perform, they're sharing something with him. Redefining value, experience over scale. Younger generations are less impressed by scale, massive venues, pyrotechnics, and they're more interested in meaningful moments. Jin is modeling a future where artists don't need to break themselves physically to wow a crowd. Instead, they create immersive, emotionally intelligent spaces that fans will remember, not because of how loud it was, but because of how connected they felt. Jin may not even realize how far ahead he is, but what he's doing is brilliant. He's reshaping the rules, integrating emotion, artistry, and audience participation into every moment. Building a relationship is what he is doing, not just creating a show. When an artist creates an experience that physically and emotionally includes the audience, the fan artist relationship changes. It becomes personal because the fan feels included, memorable because the fan is engaged and not just listening, reciprocal because it felt like the artist prepared something for the fan, not just performed at the fan. For the future audience, the Gen Zers, Alpha, who are often skeptical of polished celebrity images, this creates a sense of authenticity and trust. They're not just fans of the music, they're connected to the person behind it. Jin isn't just performing songs, he's actually creating a living, breathing, evolving art space. And this is how concerts will look in the future. I don't think that this is the final form of what concerts will look like in the future. And I think it's going to be ever evolving anyway. But I do think that this is the first step. This is the entrance or the beginning of the evolution of concerts. For the longest time, especially in the West, fans have always been just spectators of an art of and that may be a song, a movie, or poetry, but technology, opportunities, history, time, it has all of those things opened the possibility, actually started the evolution of the nature of art. And so, Jen creating a space, creating an event where it's not just the artist presenting his art before the audience, but actually calling on to everyone to actually participate in creating this memory, creating this event. That is a big step forward. And I think that's going to be one of the foundation of what concerts will actually look like in the future. I would love to hear your thoughts. So leave your comments and your thoughts in the comment section. As always, you can say whatever it is that you want to say. Just please do so respectfully. If you can, please like the video, subscribe and hit that notification button so that you don't miss a single video. You can get notified on topics that you're interested in, or get notified on all the videos that I upload. Please just get notified on all the videos that I upload. Also share it, send it to your friends, ask your friends and your family to subscribe to the channel and watch the video, or paste a link on your social media. That's really helping my channel. If you can, please donate. You should be seeing the QR code on screen right now. The link to donate is also in the description box. And of course, follow me on X, on IG, and also on Patreon. It's a great community. We're growing it, we're building it, and moving forward. We do a lot of conversations there, not just about BTS, not just about K pop, but movies, TV shows, everything else. So I hope to see you there. And there is a free tier just in case you want to give it a try first. Thank you. See you there.